So, welcome along to the Broken&Unseen podcast, everyone. Today I have my very good friend Ițițesc Răzvan, and the big Sam is back, and we have Kosi as well. And yeah, man, it's crazy where life has taken us, bro. A few years back, we were all in Romania. Now you're in the US, in Florida, out there coaching the next generation. And yeah, man, I don't know, when you look at us now compared to when we were still teammates at Sănătatea, what's going through your mind? And just talk to me. How has life been treating you, man? How's it going?
Yeah, all good. Nice to see you guys, and thanks for the invite. Yeah, it's changed a lot. A lot of things changes, and just trying to stay into the game and see where it takes me. That's pretty much it.
Nice. So let's just go straight into it. And my first serious question is going to be: did you ever imagine yourself ending up in the US, being a coach?
No. I actually didn't think about coaching when I first started obviously playing. I didn't know anything about US when I came here, so it was a big change, and it's a different culture and a different mentality for everything in soccer in general. So it's just different. But in the end, the football, the soccer is the same everywhere. So there's the thing that connects us to meeting different people and keep going. I think I'm in a good place right now. We had a lot of fun at Sănătatea and in Romania, growing up. I like where I am, and keep improving into the coaching and business side. So,
bro, and your English is amazing now, man. I remember a few years back. Bă, muie, nu știai nimic în engleză, bă. Acum, bă, vorbesc foarte bine engleza. Mamma mia. Your English is amazing, bro.
You guys cutting stuff, or you just leave it like this? Because you just cursed. You can't leave it like that, do you?
It's our podcast, bro. Me and Big Sam, it's our podcast. We can say what we want.
Look, the major thing, the first thing everyone or any foreigner get to understand here in Romania is the cursing. So if you're not used to the cursing here, it's like go hard or go home. I just go back home.
The cursings in Romania are different. When you curse here, the things that we say in Romania, it's everybody shocked. What's going on?
Yeah.
So before I ask a question here, Razvan, I just want to make something clear. For a couple of weeks, months now, I've almost not been available here. And I didn't really tell you, I got a lot of messages, Yo, Sam, what happened? We don't see you Broken and Unseen. Where have you been? Something happened, you left? So let me just make this clear. I never left. Life was just busy, and I work in the hospital, and most of the time my shift doesn't meet up to the time, and I wouldn't want to stop the podcast just because I'm still at work. So I usually tell Joel, you just go ahead without me. So for those one doubting, I never left. I'm still here, and I'm probably gonna leave you guys on time also today because running back to where I came from. So when we talk about Sănătatea Cluj, Răzvan, let's just take it back a little because I was there, Joy was there, you were there. What are the things that you remember? What are the things that you would like to talk about? What are the things that you would be like, no man, let's not talk about this. Let's move on.
No, when I think about Sănătatea, it's just the people that I met there. That's why you live with. Soccer was okay. Soccer was good. Still growing and in a lower league.
It's football. It's football. You don't go to the US and now you start calling it soccer. It's football.
Yeah, football was good. Nothing crazy, but I think it was a good platform for the younger players. To play, to have somewhere to play, and there were some experienced players like right now. Still keeping in touch with some of the guys, with the coaches, with some of the guys there. But I believe it was a good team to be in. A lot of fun, a lot of fun things happening. But in the end, I think for me it wasn't. I just wanted an environment to be, as high as you can in every aspect that you want to be. If you like soccer, you want to keep moving on and trying to go, either playing, coaching, whatever it is, managing, whatever it is. I believe they're doing an amazing job right now. Still following them on the social media stuff. So I think they're moving into the right direction. It was fun. Fun times. I was in Cluj. I was back home. So there was a good thing. Met Joel.
Yeah, bro.
Do you feel like now, like maybe you still watch them from a distance? Do you feel like the Sănătatea of today have a better vision than they used to have, or it was better then than now? What's your opinion?
No, absolutely, it's better right now. And it was better when we went there from before, from what I knew. So I think it's moving, and I think football in Romania it's growing a lot, and it's going to the right direction, in my opinion. As much as I still watch some first league games and stuff like that, European, whatever they play, but it's growing a lot, and I think it's in the right direction. They have the president Gisha doing a good job, Chubby. I'm not pretty sure if Seme is still there, but I think it's
Seme. He's the
Seme is
manager.
there. So
Yeah.
they got some football guys there and top guys and very nice people to be around. So I think it's growing into the right direction. It just depends what expectations they have moving forward. But it's definitely better than right now than what it used to be, and I think when we were there, Joey, was better than what they used to be before. So.
Yeah, because a lot of players left then, if I remember, because of the lack of ambition, and they feel like some said they were too comfortable, on finishing, I don't know, 5th, 6th, 7th, just to be on the same position on the third league. So a lot of them left, and now, like especially last year, they went on the playoff and they were very, very close to going to the second league, and that was why I asked if you feel any different right now, and if you still follow them, of course.
Yeah, it is, and I think they brought some good players there. Right now, they can help them move on, but it's, in the end, it's just about having a good culture and enjoying what you're doing, and hopefully you go as high as possible,
Yeah. Yeah, bro. So my next question to you is, when was the first time you realized that, okay, football was taking you in a different direction, and now you're a coach. I think you're coaching the under 17s. So do you miss being a football player? And yeah,
Not at all. I don't miss it at all, honestly. I don't even play anymore. Part of the reason is because I still play with the coaches sometimes that we have, and we meet together, and that's a good game because they know what's going on. But usually here in US, if you just play with friends or pickups, the culture is not back home, so it's not easy to play. But I don't miss it. I coach a lot, so I coach college. We have our own college. We coach U19, U17, so that's pretty much my whole time. The thing that made me realize and move on from playing, it was I think when when I think I was a third after transferring from Sănătatea, and I got injured. I had the ACL when we met and did the recovery together, Joey.
yeah.
So I was like, where is this gonna take me? I could have still played a lot probably and move up to second league, but that's not what I wanted to do. Like it's not easy to make it to the first league. I know everybody makes it, so if you don't have the right environment to push you forward and make it to the first league, even in the first league. From what I'm watching, if you're not playing the first 5-6 teams, it's not easy, So I just wanted the future for myself, and this opportunity came up, and why not?
Yeah. I mean, so if somebody told us when we were at Sănătatea that one day you'll be coaching kids out there in Florida and try to like give them your experience, would you have believed them? Like,
no. As I said, I couldn't even speak any English when I came here. So
yeah, man, that's why I'm asking, because like I said, I remember you couldn't even speak English back then, but now your English is amazing, bro.
yeah, I couldn't speak any English, and I was not thinking about it. I was just thinking, to keep playing, but as soon as I realized that, there is an opportunity to come here, and I did my research before coming here. I just didn't come in, blind. I saw football here. It's growing massively, at every single level, and I saw an opportunity to come here, and trying to help everybody and grow myself, keep improving on my side, into the coaching and everything else. But it was good. It's good. It was a good move.
Yeah. So how was that transition from Romania to the US, having to learn English? How long did it take you to like feel comfortable speaking?
It was horrible.
Apart from English, what was the hardest part?
Besides English, you said?
Yeah.
No, honestly, I adapt very quick because I just came here to play in college for a little bit, playing college for 2 years, while still starting coaching and all this stuff. But other than English, honestly, there was not a big change. I went in college, I made friends very quick. So we speak no English. So there is a culture that, when you are in the culture, into the college, everybody bounce together, trainings, go out, coaching and all the stuff. So it was easy for me to adapt to the style. The food, it was a difficult part because it's different. But yeah, I remember when I first moved, it was COVID time. I got in New York, had to stay 3 days in a hotel. I couldn't eat anything because everything was so sweet. I was not used to it. And yeah, I had some Romanian friends and brought me some food that they knew I'm gonna like it. So this is what I ate for like 3 days.
Yeah.
But besides that, no, everything was smooth.
Yeah. So I mean, like, why did you choose the US? Why America, of all places? Why did you choose the US?
Yeah, no, I got an opportunity through a friend. There's still, I think he's the director of Sănătatea Cluj right now for the youth in the whole youth system. He had a friend that they played together here at Petrol Ploiești, a very good friend of him, and he needed some good players to play in college. And he, we got in touch, we talked. He was Romanian too, so that's how first initial came. And afterwards, he left the college, stopped coaching the college, and once I started the process, I said, why not? I was under the contract with Turda. I told them, hey, I'm going to stay for 6 months and I'm going to US. So I just, as I said it from the beginning, I just saw an opportunity into football world here in US, and I said, why not a fresh start? Because we all know how Romania is with football, even though it's growing, but it's not easy to get into the right circles. And
That was where I was really going because in Romania, a lot of guys here, they try so much to prove themselves as a football player. And some of them, we know few of them that give up very quick because their chances was very slim, and they haven't got the courage to try it outside the country. But you went from trying to prove yourself as a footballer to becoming, to being in a position whereby you have to be young ones. And this is a huge transition. And I'm sure that from football perspective of it being trying to want to be a professional footballer, you didn't see this day coming. So how was that transition like, and how did you manage to do that? And how do you feel being in this position right now?
Yeah, no. First of all, I had to learn English. That was my first thing. I knew what I want to do. I just had to learn English. That was the first step. As soon as I learned English, it took me probably 3-4 months. I was very lucky. Came into the college, started talking a little bit. In the summer here in US, there is no college season. There is fall season and the spring season. So as soon as the spring season, because I came in the spring season, ended, there is a summer league where all the college players from all over the country, they play. It's called USL2. It's basically third league in Romania, or like some of the teams, they are second league. I went there and played in Virginia. That was in Virginia. I came in the college in New York, in Syracuse, upstate New York. And I went there and I stayed in a host family, and they helped me a lot because they had little kids. I was talking with the little kids, helping them, coach them, play soccer every day, training, playing games. The environment was unbelievable. Every single home game we were playing with 4,000 or 5,000 people in the stands. There was a high level soccer and a high level organization. So they helped me a lot. In 6 months in, I was, pretty good at English, confident. I could speak, I could understand everything. So they changed a lot. And the transition into the coaching, as soon as I moved to Florida, and in New York a little bit, we started our own college basically, and I got into the coaching, business side, managing, and all this other stuff. And that's what I like. I think the biggest change is when you're a player, you think for yourself. You don't need to worry about anybody else. You don't need to worry about anything. Now I have to worry about so many kids. I got to be careful what I'm saying to one kid because the other one might, feel different. So it's a big change. I'm not thinking for myself right now. I have to think for everybody and for the whole team.
One, living there in America as a coach or a young one developer or developing young kids. So basically, like we said at the beginning before we went online, that if you get to a place, the swearing is a major part of it. So you working with kids a lot, and I know sometimes you might be tempted to use the F word most of the time because it's a common language there. How do you manage to restrain yourself on this?
Yeah, no, it's not very hard for me because even in Romania, I was not very aggressive. Joey knows me. I was not aggressive and on the talking side, but I had jokes and everything, but the whole system in US is different. You got to be very careful while you're talking with the kids because you got to respect them. You got to respect the families and you need to think about everything. So that part is not very hard because as learning English, as I went through, I learned the terminology of, I started with the soccer. Okay, what do I need to learn into the soccer terminology? Like step up, cross, all this small stuff, press, drop off, goalkeeper, come out of the ball. So all this stuff, that's what I learned. And basically I just narrow myself into the football, into the very easy words and small words. So I don't expand myself, but into the, I'm not getting angry or stuff like that. No, sometimes, but I'm not using F words or something like that because if I use the Romanian ones, they're gonna be tough. I'm gonna get in trouble.
So
Here,
before I leave,
it's very easy curses that you can use here, and just the F word and stuff like that.
The funny thing is, like, in Romania, why I like Romania is when you're happy, you curse. When you're angry, you curse. Like when you're sad.
and the cursing, sometimes I wonder, we used to talk about it sometimes, like the cursing is so funny that, like in Romania, they say, "Nare legatura." It doesn't have a connection, like using onions for swearing and stuff. So, but out there, the swearing is direct, I don't want to use it because we are online right now, but you know what I mean. What's the connection that my mom has with onions, this kind of thing. But in US, it's a direct word, if they are swearing at you, they are swearing directly. So that's why it's a bit more personal. You can receive a curse here and laugh over it. There, it's a bit personal. That's why I asked. So before I leave, because I really have to leave, I'm going to leave you with Joshua and Joy. I want to say a big congratulations for the change. And we haven't had time to speak till now. And unfortunately, my time is very limited here. But guarantee that we will have a talk again, and one way or the other. And I'll have a talk with Joy. Your invitation is valid. We will consider it. So have a good life, and until we speak again, and take care of yourself.
Thank you, brother. Stay safe.
After.
Later, bro.
Yeah. Anyways, Kosi, if you have any questions for ET, just go ahead and yeah.
Yeah, what I want to ask is talent-wise, with the kids in the US and those back in Romania, like when you were growing up, I mean, talent-wise, what stands out?
Yeah, I don't want to get in trouble back home because I know if I say the wrong words, everybody's gonna come after me. But it's comparing a massive country compared with a smaller country. So you can imagine, everybody plays football here right now. Maybe 20 years ago it was totally different. But now if you go to any field in US at 8 a.m. or 10 p.m., you're going to see players, kids, especially afterwards in the afternoons. playing and just kicking the ball around. In Romania, it's a little harder to do that because you got to pay the field, you got to rent the field. There's not a lot of places anymore where you can play. I grew up playing in the streets every single day for like 6-8 hours. You just go out in the streets and play soccer. Now it's a little different. I don't know how many places they have. So there is talent here too, and I think the big advantage they have here is they got players and people from all over the world. South America, Africa, a lot of guys from Africa, all over the world, Europe. They come here with the families because of a better life. They're trying to get a better life, and now their kids grow up here playing soccer because they playing football because they love football. So now they got good players, top players, not just from their country, but from all over the world, especially South Americans. They got Brazilian, Argentinian, Colombians, Venezuelan, Honduras, all these countries. They got top players. They grow up here, so now they have a bigger pool to choose from.
That's right.
Yeah. So when you look at the US, as I think just maybe one state in the US is as big as Romania, and sometimes you made mention of the fact that in Romania maybe you have to pay for the pitches to play, and so. But I've read on so many articles that
I know where you're going.
I've read in so many articles that in the US, even to go like to the academies, you have to pay. After programs, like you see probably in Romania, those after school programs are free, but in the US, you have to pay. And there's a famous quote from Zlatan, and he said when he was in LA Galaxy, he had to pay lots of money for his kids to go play football. So
it's not an issue
for him about this situation.
It's not an issue for Zlatan, is it?
It's not an issue for Zlatan, but a common person who doesn't have Zlatan's money. So
the system is called pay to play.
Yeah.
It's a different system. For example, I coach the college program that we have. This is kids and it depends from where they're coming from the world. We got players from all over the world. We got players from Africa, Europe, Germany, London, UK, Germany, Spain, pretty much all the countries, most of the countries in Europe. We got players from South America, lots, Colombia, Argentinians, Brazilians, all over. We got players Madagascar. We got players from all over the world. So it depends when they graduate the high school there, they come here for college. And could be 17 to, you can have players in college 17 to 24 at Division 1. Division 2, they go a little later. So that's what I coach. Now, I coach the youth stuff too. I coach the under 19s and 17s. One of the biggest clubs in Florida. And that's for the club, if you want to put, I would say, CFR Cluj or Ro Cluj, right? As you go there, you play in their academy. Most likely, I don't know if you pay anything, probably $100 or something like that. I don't even know. Cotizație, whatever they pay monthly. Here, probably 2K, 3K, depends on the team that you play. And the worst part is, as high as the better level you go, you got to pay more. And I think that's the minus between this. The soccer, the soccer landscape in US, it's extremely massive. Like it's so high. The levels are so different. And I think as you get to the top, to the pro academies, like CFR Cluj has their under 21 team or whatever they call it, that's the high level, right? That's the level, the highest that you can play here. Inter Miami Academy, for example, and Sarley Academy, all these MLS teams, they have academies, right? As you get to there, I would say probably 75% of the players are full scholarship to play into the academy, if not even more. That's the highest level, so that's not always true. You know what I mean? They pay for you, you go there, you do to school, you eat. That's the highest level environment that you can have here in the United States. You don't pay there, but you gotta be top player, right? Now, as you go lower in the lower leagues, that's when you have to pay. And that's because, the system is just different. In US, you gotta pay for everything. So, but I think it's a minus, definitely, compared to the Europe, and they looking to change it. I don't know if it's going to happen ever, because the culture is so different. They got so used to pay, right now is just normal.
Yeah.
Into the football, but unfortunately in US football, our football is not the first sport right now. It grew a lot. It's probably the third or the second already after the third, probably after American football and basketball. So it grew a lot, but most of the rules into all the system, they are made by the football, the American football, if I make sense. So that's always the system, and they just go through it. There is a big minus because you miss a lot of talents. They never get to the top to get that full scholarship opportunities, if I make sense. But now, if you are good enough, as everywhere, and that's what I say everywhere, if you are good enough and if you are the top player in all this world, you're going to find ways to get to the top level. And that's how it is. It doesn't matter you come from Europe, Africa, United States, or wherever you come. If you are the top player, you can find ways to get there.
So do you feel like the system and the culture there in the US discourages, let's say, the people or the parents who don't have the money to pay for their kids? Do you feel like it discourages them to play football or to pay for their kids to play football? Because in Europe, in Africa, it's free to play football. But in the US, you have to pay. So do you feel like this is some sort of a limitation?
Yeah, no, definitely it is. 100%. You can find different ways to play. There are lower teams that if you are, good, but for the average player, definitely. If you are an average player, when you grow up and you have, you're not as talented as, the top players, it is discouraging because, a lot of the families, they just don't have the money to spend on their kids to go play football and kick the ball around at 9-10 years old. And there's the reality, so you got to be prepared to invest. But one more time, I go back to the same thing. If you are good enough, you're finding a way to, to get into it. We have even at our club, which is not the pro academy. We don't have like a team playing in MLS. Even at our club, a lot of the players, they get scholarships, the top players. So there are different ways, to do it, but you miss a lot of the talents that could be in the end very high, right? Because they don't have the opportunity to play in these academies.
So, anyways, before Kosi asks his next question, in the same line of thought, what was the biggest cultural shock for you moving from the US, moving from Romania to the US? What was the biggest cultural shock for you in terms of football, in football and in life in general, but mostly in football?
Hearing from back home, it was, you had a lot there. I think that the opportunities, the culture shock is the opportunities that you can have here. For me, you can do whatever you want and you can be very successful if you put the work in. I don't think it goes the same, in my opinion. I don't think it goes the same in Romania. You can work so hard in Romania. You can do so many stuff. You still got to go through so many hopes that honestly they shouldn't be there. And that's the biggest difference that I saw. It's you have the ability to do anything that you want. Like literally, you just idea comes into your mind. You put the work in, you can get it out. Now in Romania, there is a lot of discouragement. You want to start a podcast, everybody's looking at you. What are you doing that? And all this small stuff. You can here you can do whatever you want. Nobody cares, and that's the thing. Nobody cares what everybody's doing. Everybody's minding his own, parcel.
Do
your own stuff, and we keep moving forward.
Nice. So Kosi, you had something to ask.
Yeah, we know football in the US is, it's growing, and of course, with ET being, you're coaching kids. I believe the youth development system in the US. So, how do you see it in the next 10 years?
I don't know. I think that's a big. There are a lot of changes in the whole football in US right now as we talk. College system, it changes a lot. There used to be college. I don't know how much are you guys familiar with the college, and I believe it's an amazing opportunities for players. The college system, it's an unbelievable resource the US has. It's changing a lot right now, and there used to be a certain amount of scholarships, the full scholarship the players can get, 9.9 in Division 1. Out of, you could have 40 players in the team, 10 players, 9.9, 10 players, they get the full scholarship. Everybody else, 30 other players, or depends on your roster, it's paying a lot of money to go to college and play for the college, right? Now, Division 1 changed, the highest level in college soccer, and now some of the schools can full scholarship the whole team, and they have only 28 roster spots. So right now, Division 1 is going to have a cap, only 28 roster spots, players in the team, right? Yeah. But everybody right now can get the full scholarship, and they can get paid. Until last year, players in college, they couldn't get paid. There was a big lawsuit here in US, I think starting with a football side, and now the players can get paid to play in college. We got players from our college, they got a big time offer to go play in college and pay for your school and give you lots of money to play right there. So it's basically a professional environment. We got players coming from Newcastle. There is a player that play for under Eddie Howe, and in Champions League he came to play for Ohio State Division 1. So the landscape into college is changing, and what I want to go with this, there is an extra opportunity that Europe does not have. Nobody else in this world has it. When you finish your high school back home, you got to go play 5th league, 4th league, 3rd league, which is the higher level right now, 2nd league, 1st league, right? You either play or you just stop playing or just play with your friends.
Yeah.
Here in the United States, you finish high school, you got another opportunity to go play in college for 4 years, 5 years, depends.
Yeah.
Now, in these 4 years, you can grow and have a professional environment. The facilities and the support that you have into the college can guarantee you at Division 1, a lot of, if not none in the 1st league in Romania has all these resources and facilities. Maybe just FCSB and the higher level teams, the pitches, the support that you have. So it's a very good, gap where you can keep growing for 4 years, and now after you finish college, you can still make it to pro at 23, 22, or even before. So I think it's an amazing opportunity. I don't know where I went with this. I forgot the question, but
no. I think you answered the question.
No, it's on the right track.
Yeah.
But yeah, the talent in US, it's a lot. There is a lot of talent. It just needs to. There are different things changing into the whole system, into the football, and because it's a big country, it's very hard to control everything. Because you can live a 6 hours away flight, and you are in the same country, and it's very hard to control the football. Back home, it's you have how many leagues? 5, 6 leagues, and you pretty much control everything, right? And that's it. Now here there is a million leagues at every level, so it's not easy to control it. So I think they're growing a lot. US, in the next 10 years, I honestly think they're gonna be very high level. I think they focus a lot into their national team. They want to get to the very high, as far as possible, into the World Cups, and they invest into that. There was a big change in US when two Netherlands coaches, and they came here and they changed the whole youth system from the bottom to the top. They changed everything. They right now the coaches, there are different coaches licensing, and there's so many things that you have to do to be able to, for example, be a coach at a lot of the level. Now, if you go to the recreational levels, and I think that's a big minus for US, because they allowed volunteers and they allowed parents to coach at the very low levels. And now, in my opinion, when you are 5, 6, as you guys know, until 10, 12, that's when you get most of the good habits. or bad habits into the soccer. That's when you learn how to pass the ball. That's when you learn some of the tactics, the ideas, and if your parent coaches you, or if a volunteer coaches you, it's not very good. So I think, but in the same time, as I said, there is so many teams and so many players. It's not easy to find all these coaches or all these referees, good referees. I think that's another point. Referees in US are nowhere near close to the European referees, because in Europe they play football before. Everybody probably play football. Here, a lot of them, you just go online, you take your license, and you can ref, having absolutely no clue what's offside or any other thing, because they need a lot of referees as they have a lot of teams.
What mistakes do you see young players making that I think you two actually made while you were still playing?
Sorry, can you repeat that?
I mean, like the mistakes that you see young players make these days that probably you also made while you were a player.
Yeah. I think, they are kids. They can make mistakes. If you coach little kids, you need to, and I think you need to allow them to make mistakes until they get to 12, 14 years old, because this is how they learn. I remember growing up, I was very blessed to have a very good coach in my youth system. I played for Giu Petroșani. They were in the first league with the first team while I was playing there, so we had top youth teams. From our team, a lot of the players went on and play third league, second league, first league, few of them. So we had the top team, and we had a very good coach that taught us very good things. Now looking back at it, but I believe a lot of the coaches being there, in Romania, it's too strict with so many things for youth kids. You got to do this, you got to do that. When you are 7, 8, 9, 10 years old, you know how it goes. Like we said from the beginning, coaches are all cursing, screaming at you when you are 7, 8 years old. You get confused, you get scared, and that's not the way. Now, when we get to 16, 17, 18 years old, that's when the players are able to understand differently everything what's going on. And if they have a good foundation, now they understand that the coach can be a little, more harder on you and all this stuff. But at the youth kids, at the little kids, I coach a little bit to get used to it. I coach 7, 8, 9 years old just to move up, because I believe that's the way to go. You can't just go and coach in a college or just coach at the third league or fourth league or fifth league in Romania, because you got to do stuff before to understand how the player think and how is the little kids. Okay, because now I think you have to understand that. But I think in Romania, that's what is missing. I see a lot. I've seen a lot growing up. The players, by the time they get to 14, they are scared. They don't have personality. They don't have confidence. And now, out of a sudden, they miss a pass, and they used to for the coach to scream at them, and or they wait for the coach, and that's happening a lot. If the coach is not screaming at them or cursing them, they don't perform well, because they're not used to it being free. They have all this freedom in the field and think by themselves. They give them all these tasks. So I think that's the most important thing, to let them free. You don't need to give them when they are 10, 12, 14. They don't need tactics and all this stuff. They just need to enjoy the game. And as soon as they move, they grow a little bit more, that's when you can implement tactics and all the stuff.
Yeah, Kosi, go ahead.
Oh, we have several players that are so talented, but I mean, they don't get to make it to the highest level. Or I mean, they don't get to stand out like every other player. So I mean, what separates a talented player from a professional?
What's a what? Sorry, can you repeat the last part?
What separates a talented player?
Yeah.
From a professional.
In my opinion, the mentality, and that's why Romania is missing a lot. And I missed it in my situation a lot. I was pretty talented growing up, playing highest level possible at the U level, but we didn't know. That's the reality. As I said, I had a very good coach. They taught us good things, but the whole system and the whole culture, we just didn't know. They don't teach you how to eat. They don't teach you how to recover. They don't, at least when I grew up. Right now, I hope things change and it's differently, and I know it's differently. But for a talented player, he needs to have the mentality to make it. You see right now, especially in the top level, you see Premier League players, you see all these players, Yamal and all the Spanish players playing at the highest level possible, winning World Cups and Euros at 18, 19 years old. For us, at 18, 19 years old, they treat you like little kid back home. If you are 18 or you're still a junior, you have 4 more years to play as a junior or something like that. But they have the mentality, they have the foundation, and that's the most important thing. You have to have a good foundation and grow with freedom and grow and understand. And I think that's the big part is players, they get to a certain level and they just fine over there, and that's what, when I got to a certain level right there, I was not fine, and I didn't want to still fight to play and make it to the second league or with a miracle with the first league, because I just didn't feel like I just wanted more than that. So that's what I start, growing and trying to learn different skills and different stuff. But the mentality is the main thing. You have to have the mentality. The talent, everybody has talent. Otherwise, you don't make it so far. But now the mentality is gonna push you forward after at one point.
And I think how important is discipline for a footballer, professional football?
Well, you look at all these guys, because now we got as I said, we just didn't know. Growing up for me, we just didn't know what was required to play at the highest level. We did so many things that we shouldn't, starting with what you eat, how you train, how you recover, why you learn besides football. Why don't you learn a different language? Maybe if you want to play at the highest level possible, that means you got to get out of Romania or the country. You got to learn English. Why are you not learning English while we are 14, 15, 16? It's because we just didn't know. So I think that's the main thing. It's right now it's different. We see, behind the scenes from you go on YouTube and you find the Erling Haaland day in a life, and you see how he eats, how he does different things. And now little kids can pick on that, and they are doing that. So now I can, I know what to eat. Oh, I see Haaland only doing good stuff, running. You see Cristiano Ronaldo. You see all these guys, they've been in the game for so long because they've done the right things and they have the talent. Now the only thing you have to do if you have the talent, you just copy them. It's not hard. We didn't have who to copy. If you look at the players, they play at the highest level back home in Romania, they didn't know what they're doing. Most of them, like the players that we play again with them, and Joey knows, they didn't know what they're doing. They didn't do the right things. So we just get their habits. And that's how it is. You just have to have a model to go after it. And I think right now the people with the internet and all this stuff, they got the highest level possible athletes as models. So now I think it's easier to get to the top right now than it used to be.
On the part of parents, what do you think the parents actually misunderstand as far as football development is concerned?
Here or back home? Because here, both. Parents, it's a different topic. All over?
Both.
Yeah, all over.
Romania and the US. Yeah.
Romania and then the US.
Back home, growing up, my dad plays soccer in a small team next to where we used to live. He went into coaching afterwards. He coached in a 4 league. So I was, pretty blessed to have somebody that knows the game and play the game and coach the game to know what to do with me. And I had a lot of freedom growing up. My dad never, told me, hey, you got to do that, you got to do that, because he knew there is the coach for a reason put there, And I believe right now, back home, the parents, they think they are the coaches. And I think that's the problem. Here, it's even more. The parents think they are coaches, but if you bring your kid into a club, first of all, you got to make sure you find a good club for your kid with a good coach that you like, and you see that he has things that he can teach your kid, right? Not just screaming and, all this stuff. And after that, you just got to let him do his job. And I think that's and it's, I don't have kids yet, but I think that's a tough part, to just leave your kid in somebody else's hand and, teaches, because coaches are massively important and educators for their kids, right? You leave your kid there for 3 hours when you are 7, 8, 9, 10 years old, he's going to pick up good habits or bad habits and come back with them. So I think the parents' job is just to keep their confidence very high, let the coach do their job, and just support the kid. That's the main thing. Support him in whatever he needs. As we said here in US, supporting means mentally and physically and everything, and paying, right? That's the reality. Back home, it's just you gotta make sure he has food on the plate and eat good stuff. And I believe that's a big thing for them, is to educate themselves in, if they want their kid to play soccer and be at the football and be at the very high level, educate themselves. How are the other guys getting to the top level? What does he need to do to get to the top level? And as soon as he gets to 14, 15, slowly implement this stuff. No one is 8, 9, 10. I heard so many stories with 9, 10 years old kids. The parents said he's the best player. He's a professional athlete. He's not working like this. He's just enjoying the game and playing the game until he gets to 12, 13, 14, 15. That's when we can see if he can make it or not, if he has the mentality. So just to summarize everything, just let the kids enjoy the sport, support them, and just be there for them.
So at what point do you actually tell a player you need to work harder?
Well, for me, right now, every point, because I coach 17, 18, 19, 20, all the way to 24 years old. These kids are, they are right now, they are grown. They are 18 years old, back home at 18. If you don't play, you say goodbye to the football. And it's the reality, because there's no other place to play. If you're either good enough to play in a F4, whatever league it is, or you just stop. So now I don't work with little kids anymore right now, but I think as they go to, you got to find ways to teach them the things that you want. For a little kid, it's different. You got to go around and take them differently and make it fun a little bit, for them to understand, and not just telling them, hey, you got to turn your body and pass the ball onto the right side. You can't tell a little 8 years old kid, because after that he's going to get where we say, you can just move him over, make a little fun drill and run him, pick up a cone and, open up right now so he can get the ball. And you can do the same thing different ways. Now, for the older player, if he has a good foundation, he should understand the things, and I think, and as a coach, you just got to have a lot of private conversation with players and make them understand that 18, 19, 20 years old, what you want from them. I've seen a lot, not just hop on the field, play a 5v2 and play small-sided. And a lot of the teams do that in Romania, and I know it because I played 5v2s, rondo, however you call it, and play small-sided, and go to the game and expect them to do crazy stuff that you've seen at Barcelona. It's just not working like that.
All right. How do you deal with a player that is very talented but doesn't work hard?
Well, there's a lot of them. A talented player is not going to work hard. If he has that, he's going to be top player. I think it's the same thing. It's you just got to find different ways to make him work harder, right? You just tell him, listen, if you score 2 goals in this game, next time you can take off 1 day, or small little things that depends at the level you coach. I know at the highest level possible, a lot of coaches do that, to motivate them, or like you can take it easy. You don't do the fitness. For me, a lot with the top players, they want them to do better. Listen, if you in this small sided game, or if you in this drill, you're gonna be 100%. I'm gonna cut you 2 runs at the end from the fitness test. Because I know he's gonna get that fitness within. If he's 100%, he's gonna get the fitness while he does the drill that I want him to do. He doesn't need to do the fitness what I want. And I said, you can do that. Or there are so many other different ways. But I think with talented players, that's where a good coach is about, and that's that makes you a good coach. Players. You can be the best coach in the world. If you do not have the players, it's not working. Even for Guardiola, if he doesn't have the players and the talent, it's just not working. That's how it is. You have to have the talent, and now when you have the talent, you have to be able to manage the talent, because they are not easy to work with, right? As you said, most of the times they don't work as hard as the other guys, because they know they have something that the other guys don't have.
So one thing parents need to stop doing:
controlling the little kids while they're at football, or the kids. Just let them enjoy football, That's what it is, and be there just to help them and support them in whatever it is. Let them be there. And I had my dad. I don't think my dad was at 10 training sessions watching me in my whole life, because he knew there is a coach there for a reason. He was just coming to some of the games to see me how I play and how I develop. But besides that, that's how it is. You don't go after your kid at the school. He's in good hands at the school, right? He's going to have teachers there, and they do the right stuff. It's the same in football. If you bring your kid to the right school right now, to the right club, to the right coach, you don't need to worry about it. He's going to do a good job.
Yeah.
Nice.
So, as with respect to development for kids and all of that, academies or grassroots?
Yeah, the grassroots is different here. It's a different concept, right? It's for the players that, just get into the soccer and learn the fun stuff. And that's what I said. You just learn the fun stuff, how to have fun, meet friends, just interact with, when you are a little kid, just interact with different players, and that's when you see a lot of the stuff who's for soccer. A lot of the players at the grassroots, they come there and you realize, okay, he is not able to play soccer. He's probably very good at basketball. Or look at their height, look at that, if it's a kid there, it's just different in talented. That's when you can pick up. And it just, grassroots is just to go there and have fun, make friends, and interact with other, while you're playing soccer, interact with different people, and teaches you a little bit about football. Sorry, guys.
Yeah. So what's more important? Yeah, what's more important? Being technically gifted or being coachable? What's more important?
That's an amazing question, but I think if you have both of them, you're a big timer. For me, honestly, it's probably 60% being coachable and 40% talented. Because at some level, when you get to a certain level, everybody has talent. And that's what I tell my players every time. When you get to the highest level, everybody has talent. Otherwise, they wouldn't make it. Now, if you are able to deliver, and if you are coachable and deliver what the coach wants from you, that's what is going to get you on the field, and not sitting on the bench or all the other stuff. But if you don't have the talent, you're not going to get to the top level. It's very hard to get it to the top level if you don't have the talent. Talent doesn't mean dribble 15 guys and put it in the top corner, right? For me, it just be very good at what you're doing and understand the fundamentals and the basics.
Yeah.
And I think that's a big misconception growing up in Romania and seeing differently from different countries right now. I think it's a big misconception what talent is in Romania. In Romania, if you dribble 5 guys and you put it up corner, this kid is talented. He can play at Steaua Bucharest or something. For me, that's the reality, isn't it? for me, there's not talent. You can be very talented at passing the ball, like don't miss any pass. Like you look at Rodri, he's not doing crazy stuff. For us, because I grew up with Mutu, and I've seen the things that he's done. Guys before grew up with Haji, and they've seen the things that he's done. So for us, what I see right now, it's talented is just the number 10 players, right? And the number 9. Oh, if they can dribble and score a goal. But now being a coach and looking back and seeing different cultures, you see the Spanish. For them, talented, it's not missing any balls and being into the right spots every single time. That's why they won the World Cup, right? They didn't have crazy stuff. But if you look at French national team, they were more talented probably than Spain, a lot more talented in Romanian's eyes, weren't they? They had Mbappe, Dembele, Doué, all these guys. They are just monsters of players, right? But Spanish, they were very talented at doing the simple stuff at the exceptional level. And that's what they won them the World Cup.
So at what point should players start thinking about education?
Start thinking?
Yeah, about education.
7 years old when he goes to school.
No, yeah. I think maybe let me rephrase the question. Let me ask the question this way. You remember what happened to me, for example. I got injured and I couldn't play anymore. And so let's say I didn't have some good level of education. I would have probably been, a bit stranded and not have a plan B or something else to do.
Yeah.
And if you look at Europe and if you look at probably Africa compared to the US, I think in the US there is a pathway for you to succeed in whatever sport you want to do. I think you go to school, you get to college, and in college, and like you said, I think right now the football players are getting paid in college if you're good, and you get scholarships and stuff. So if you compare that situation with Europe and Africa and the US, what do you think Africa and Europe can copy from what is going on in the US?
Obviously, I'm not in the shoes to recommend this kind of stuff. But
in your opinion,
yeah, in my opinion, it's as if you are a player back home in Romania, and even if you are at the top level means 5 teams probably. Steaua, right now, Cluj, Craiova, all these guys, right? CFR. You got to make sure you have a plan B and educate yourself on doing different stuff. And not just because you need a plan B, it's just because you need to educate yourself and grow as a person, and for a lot of players back home, football is everything. And as soon as they realize they're not good enough, it's pretty much done for them, and they end up doing, stupid stuff and not having a future anymore, or knowing nowhere to go, and it's not just their fault, right? So I think if you are a young player back home in Romania, you got to be very open-minded, especially right now. It's not hard. You have internet and you see so many things. You have everything. You can learn about anything and everything. So just educate yourself as much as you can. It's not taking a lot, and I know it's not easy. I've done the same thing. When you play in soccer, you think that's everything, and that's pretty much it. You're gonna make it to the pro, but sooner or later, you're gonna realize that even when you make it to the pro one more time in Romania, it's probably no pro, because you get your money paid. I see so many stories. They pay you in 3-4 months. Like, what are you doing? Like, there's not like you have no future. So just make sure you find different ways to educate yourself, and just to be able to do something else even afterwards. And you see a lot of players that play at Division 1. In the first league in Romania. You see a lot of players that play in the first league in Romania, and they end up afterwards having probably nothing, and they play at the highest level. So you just got to get the example and learn that you got to educate yourself as much as you can and learn different skills and different stuff, and just to be able to move on. Even if you play at the highest level, if you learn something, they cannot downgrade you, or they can only benefit you. Even in football, there are so many things. I don't even know. You learn IT, or like you do something in the IT. I'm 100% sure somehow, sometime, and some way that's gonna help you even in football. I can guarantee you. You're gonna learn a different language. You're gonna have a teammate coming from, I don't know, a different country. You might be able to talk to him and help him and help yourself. So anything that you learn, it can help you and benefit you. It just cannot be bad for you. Different skills, different.
Yeah. So, bro, we've gotten to the 1 hour mark of the podcast. We programmed it for 1 hour, and it's been an interesting conversation. So, we are getting to the end, and I want to ask you, like, when you look at the young players you're coaching today, what do you hope they remember about you in 10, 20 years from now?
Nothing about football. I think they just gonna remember me, like and teaching them different skills, and when they're gonna end up, other than football, they, like in my situation, when they're gonna end up being coaches or being in the medical industry or in the business or anything else, to teach them some of the skills that they're gonna remember. Oh, I learned that from Coach Răzvan and doing football. So I believe I just want them to remember me from the skills and the things that I give them in life, not just football. Football, not everybody's gonna make it, and most of them, 99%, they're not gonna make it to the pro. So we got to think about it and how we can help them afterwards, right?
Yeah. Nice. So before Kosi asks his last question, my last question is, what would you say to
Your
a
last
young
question came for like last 10 questions.
bro? What would you say? What would you say to a young Răzvan who was playing in Sănătatea and who had no idea where life was going to take him? Chase each other.
Yeah, just go with the flow. And I think I wish I would have teach me different ways to see not just the football and in life, and learn different skills and different, because I believe they would have helped me in football in the end. I just wished I had different mentors and different stuff to learn from,
Yeah. Great. I don't know if Kosi has a question. One more question for you.
Yeah, I know. I know you've played with Joel. You've seen other, African
You're an
guys.
amazing player, by the way, until he got injured.
You've also seen other African guys. Play soccer, so football. So, for a player who hasn't gotten that click yet, that breakthrough, what message can you, just let out to them?
Yeah, just try the hardest that you can, right? I personally, I don't miss football because I'm in football a lot of the time. But if you want to become a professional player, just make sure you do everything on it, not just the soccer stuff. And that's why we missed a lot. Honestly, we played as soon as I got into the teams. We played for 2 hours. There was nothing else after. There was nobody to tell us, you got to go to the gym, you got to do your recovery, you got to do this extra stuff, you got to do individual trainings, you got to get better at this passing and all this stuff. So if you want to be a professional football player, in the end, when you are 14, 15, just make sure you spend 6 hours a day about football. Not just training, but do other stuff from football and learn to love the game and the process. It's not just getting to the top. I think it's a nice journey. The process is the best thing. And when you get there, you just got to make sure you stay there, right? But that's pretty much it,
Yeah, man. Thanks, bro. But
Thank
before you
you.
go, of all the players you've played with, we have a tradition on Broken and Unseen podcast. I need you to give me your 5-a-side of all the players you've played with. They'll be watching the
5-a-side?
podcast. Yeah, bro. Let's hear it.
I don't even remember. 5-a-side, 5v5. The players that I play with.
The players you've played with, give me your 5. If you want to go play a competition now, give me your 5.
Yeah. 5. Well, I have to put you in the middle because you're the host of the You're the host, so center mid in that's you. I'm gonna go with maybe Goyan as a center back or whatever.
Lucci, he told me he's gonna come on the podcast. He's gonna come on the
Nice.
podcast. Yeah.
Nice. I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna put Alex Matan up top.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put next to you. I'm gonna put my good friend when I was a kid, Răzvan Wider. I think he plays for Uta right now. He plays Steaua. I'm gonna put Geo Flore too, somewhere there. Let's put him up top.
He too is coming. He too is gonna come to the podcast.
Who are we missing here? Who are we missing? What are we missing?
We are missing yourself. You have to put yourself in.
Okay, I'm gonna put myself. I'm not putting myself.
so
Why would I put myself?
it's
You
your
said
5%.
the
It's
players
your
that I
5%.
played with. The players that I played with. I'm gonna be the coach. I can stay on the sideline.
Okay, cool.
All right,
Yeah,
Joe.
so
That's it.
no, you forgot the goalkeeper. You didn't put a goalkeeper, bro.
Goalkeeper.
Yeah.
I don't know, honestly. I'm gonna put Raresh. I played Turda with. I think he played in the first league afterwards. So
Yeah.
that's pretty much it.
All right. Anyways, thanks for coming on the podcast, man.
All right, guys. I appreciate it.
It's been a pleasure. Kosi, congratulations again. Kosi was just he's still in Morocco now. The African Women's Nations Cup just concluded in Morocco, and he's the biggest sports journalist in Africa, by the way. And he's been doing an amazing job. Cameroon won, by the way. And so congratulations again, man. And guys, subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Instagram, follow us on Facebook, follow us on TikTok. And until next time, c'est Tia Valate DJ Klim. Shelele.